Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star 2 episode number 169 based on novel. So let's start. Block them, delay time. The elders of Yulon City, one by one, activated the city's formations. The might of many formations attacked the army of low-level primordial life. Although the army could easily withstand the attacks, their speed was naturally greatly affected. Search the novelia.net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Hurry! It must be quick! If we delay, Luofeng will be able to inscribe his formation on Yulon City. The formation he sets up is more terrifying than the combined formations of over 300 elders. It would be a big problem then. The 5 kings were well aware of the situation. With such a powerful individual like Luofeng appearing in Yulon City, the situation became dangerous, but these superlimit level beings were still unwilling to give up. Without the superlimit level lurkers breaking through from within, the chances of breaking the city were almost nil. The time to fight desperately was now. Luofeng watched as the overwhelming low-level primordial life army surged in from all directions. In his eyes, he could withstand the 4 super-limit level beings. But regardless of the 2600-plus Divine Emperor perfection level beings or the tens of thousands of late-stage Divine Emperors, once they got close, a single combined strike from them would be too much. His 34 avatars wouldn't hold, and he would have to rely on his movement technique to escape far away. I must set up the formation before the army reaches the core area. Once the army arrives, it will completely destroy the core area, with likely 9 out of 10 elders perishing. Luofeng understood this point. Without the elders' assistance, even if I manage to repel this army by myself, there will still be heavy casualties within the city. To reduce casualties, the elders must be protected. The elders' formation combined with his own would maximize their defensive power. Deploy the formation. Luofeng stood there, almost all his thoughts focused on the core formation layer of Yulon City, rapidly engraving the formation. Whoosh tilde 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 whoosh tilde 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 whoosh tilde tilde tilde. The overwhelming army was attacking from all directions simultaneously. The 4 super-limit level beings didn't dare get too close and had already converged at a distance. The 4 of us will join forces and try to distract Luofeng. If he battles with the 4 of us, he'll have to divert much of his attention. This way, the speed at which he sets up the formation will significantly decrease. Once the army arrives at the core area, it will completely destroy the entire area where the elders live. Without the aid of nearly 200 elders, even if Luofeng tries to suppress us alone, we should be able to kill enough cultivators and successfully retreat. The 4 super-limit level beings were very clear about the situation. If the city falls, it would be to their advantage. Luofeng is too fast, free to come and go, and the low-level primordial life army can't kill him. But they can exterminate the remaining nearly 200 elders. This would be severing one of Luofeng's arms. Otherwise, Luofeng leading numerous elders together would doubly increase their deterrent power. The formation set up by someone mastering 2 half-primordial level DAOs would be immensely vast and complex and would still need some time to complete. We need to delay a little more. Regardless, it will be enough time for the army to reach the core area. The 4 super-limit level beings had calculated and deemed their chances very high. First, annihilate the elders to weaken Yulon City's deterrent power, then slaughter the cultivators, and finally lead the entire army to escape. That was their plan. The army would likely suffer significant losses, but the 4 super-limit level beings could still survive. Whoosh! 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 The 4 super-limit level beings burst forth in speed, charging straight at Luofeng. For super-limit level beings? Can City Lord Luofeng withstand them alone against 4? The elders in the city and many cultivators looked up and saw the 4 enormous figures. The enchanting heartworm completely revealed its true form, its illusory body appearing and disappearing. The black, serpentine mountain-like being had black flames surging on its surface, with burning eyes staring at Luofeng from its massive head. Another enormous thunderbolt tentacle creature observed Luofeng with numerous tentacles. A massive bird exuding endless destruction spread its wings, seemingly covering half the sky. For super limit level beings. Even at my peak, relying on mighty secret treasures, I could only flee in embarrassment facing 4 super limit level beings, said Yuan Xiong Palace Master, looking up, knowing the difference between 1-on-1 and 1-on-4 was vast. For super limit level beings could coordinate and simultaneously strike from different angles, tremendously increasing their threat level. Luo Feng. Do you dare battle us? The voice of the super limit level enchanting heartworm echoed in Luo Feng's mind. Of course, you can also choose to flee, and we 4 can rampage through the core area, exterminating those elders one by one. Luo Feng gazed at the 4 figures. 1-on-1, you tremble in terror. 4-on-1, you 4 have confidence, Luo Feng said, as his 34 avatars guarded their posts. I shall grant your wish. Whoosh! Luo Feng's strongest avatar took the initiative, stepping forward, moving within the blurred rifts of heaven and earth, charging straight at the 4 super limit level beings. Since a battle was inevitable, it had to be fought away from the core area. Although the battle might affect some innocent cultivators, there was no choice. Sacrifices must be made in war. Saving one more elder might save millions of cultivators indirectly. Here he comes. The 4 super limit level beings stared intently at the black-clad, black-haired figure. This figure walked through the rifts of heaven and earth, taking 2 steps to reach them. A wave of mental force instantly struck Luo Feng as the super limit level enchanting heartworm immediately used its innate secret technique, Enchanting Heart. Although Luo Feng could withstand it, he had to divert some heart force and utilize techniques like the Lai Yuan technique to resist. HMPH. As Luo Feng approached, an overwhelming endless blood sea appeared beneath him, swirling and surging, aiming to engulf the 4 super limit level beings completely. In the area below Luo Feng, there were large sections of cave mansions. The cultivators in these mansions looked up at the sky, seeing the swirling vast blood sea and the 4 super limit level beings. I hope we are not affected. If this level of battle affects us, we might be done for. The cultivators' hearts trembled as they could only activate the formations within their cave mansions, doing their best to ward off any possible aftermath. While battling, Luo Feng would try to protect these weaker ones. But in a super limit level battle, Luo Feng couldn't guarantee that he could fully protect the cultivators while also fighting. Boom! In the endless blood sea, a massive black serpent-like figure erupted with terrifying flames which burned the blood sea everywhere and even attempted to incinerate Luo Feng's soul. However, the impact on the soul was much weaker compared to the enchanting heartworm's innate secret technique, Enchanting Heart. That thunderbolt tentacle creature's form gathered endless thunder, madly bombarding the blood sea. Destroy. The immense bird of destruction, its wings spread out like fog. As its wings flapped, layers of dark energy surged towards the blood sea like tidal waves, penetrating through every layer, shaking, twisting, and tearing apart. It also traced the life aura, aiming to shake, twist, and kill Luo Feng's soul. Among the 4 super limit level beings, the bird of destruction deals the most damage. At this moment, Luo Feng was subjected to over 10 types of attacks. Material destruction, flames, dark energies, thunder, invisible restraints, tentacles, causality attacks on the soul, energy shocks, twisting and tearing all creation. Each of these attacks could severely injure a Palace Master level being, and 2 or 3 combined could destroy a Palace Master. With over 10 forces striking simultaneously. Luo Feng, having just recently broken through, had his life form secret technique incomplete. If not for ordinary avatars, they would have been utterly annihilated under such assault. But with the Undying Heart support, the Undying Blood Sea dramatically enhanced, becoming nearly indestructible. Regardless of soul or physical body, this Blood Sea body stubbornly withstood the full force assault of the 4 super limit level beings in an instant, with only a minimal amount of Blood Sea water being consumed. Yet the consumption rate still couldn't match his absorption of Yulon City's energy. In true combat, protect yourself first, then seek to kill the enemy, Luo Feng thought to himself. Protective treasures were incredibly precious. The one he exchanged from the infinite space treasure vault, the one that suited him, balancing life and destruction, was only the Undying Heart. What? The 4 super-limit level beings were astonished. Despite their full efforts, the vast blood sea didn't seem to suffer any noticeable loss. Swoosh! From within the blood sea, a massive furry paw instantly grabbed the bird of destruction. The bird, dealing the most damage, let out an extraordinarily sharp cry. The bird of destruction transformed into black mist, its immense form becoming a hazy bird-like shape in midair. Rumble, Luophong's furry paw then swiped at the nearby thunderbolt tentacle creature. The thunderbolt tentacle creature's many thick tentacles immediately tried to entangle and block the paw. But the terrifying power of the paw forcibly squeezed tight. Bang! On the other side, the black serpentine mountain-like being's tail viciously whipped Luophong's paw. The tremendous impact forced Luophong's paw to release its grip, allowing the thunderbolt tentacle creature to escape in a panic. The vast blood sea, roiling and binding all around. Thunder, flames, dark erosion spread their forces, and the immensely terrifying furry paw pursued and attacked the 4 super-limit level beings. Each had their techniques, coordinating to protect themselves. How is Luophong this strong? Even though we 4 are together, we can't threaten his protective capabilities. But his secret treasure paw can threaten our lives. Though unwilling to admit it, the 4 super-limit level beings were indeed at a disadvantage in this 1 versus 4 battle. They couldn't harm Luophong. They could only collaborate to survive. Search * the novelfire.nt website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Despite their disadvantage, the 4 super-limit level beings didn't give up and continued to battle Luophong together. The super-limit level enchanting heartworm repeatedly used its innate secret technique to interfere with Luophong. Amazing! To be dominant in a 4-on-1 battle, City Lord Luophong is impressive. The elders watching were excited, and the cultivators in the caves below the battlefield were deeply grateful. Due to Luophong's upper hand, he could still divert some thoughts to control Yulon City's energy, reducing the battle's fallout, saving the caves below. To be dominant against 4 super-limit level beings. Compared to him, Wei Yan Palace Master is far inferior. The Shadow Tower Master watched, feeling regrets about the conflicts he had with Luophong. While battling, Luophong looked into the distance. The low-level primordial life army was flying towards the core area from all directions. Thus, the distances varied, with the closest army approaching from the East City Gate, now not far from the core area. Ha ha ha, almost there. One of the armies is close to the core area. The 4 super-limit level beings were thrilled. This army has over 800 Divine Emperor perfection level beings and over 12,000 late-stage Divine Emperors, enough to annihilate the core area. They eagerly watched. Since Luophong broke through from the Life and Death Dao, he had begun setting up the formation in the Yulon City's core layer immediately. Basing the formation on the late-stage Divine Emperor Life and Death Dao naturally made it vast and complex. I divided the formation into 3 layers. Set up the first layer first. The most crucial aspect of the first layer is speed. No matter how fast the first layer, it only contained the basics of the late-stage Divine Emperor Life and Death Dao, as Luophong simplified it and, with the help of the tripled speed of thought provided by the 100 Tribulations Heart Essence, quickly set up the simplest first layer. The formation structure could vary greatly. Luophong chose the 3-layered array to quickly set up the first layer, so as to change the tide of war and save more cultivators' lives. While sensing the low-level primordial life army approaching, Luophong, while battling the 4 super-limit level beings, was fully focused on setting up the formation. Done. At last, as he completed the first layer of the formation, his eyes were filled with excitement. The elders of Yulon City controlled numerous formations, desperately trying to fend off the approaching armies from all directions. Not good, the nearest army is about to reach the core area. Over 800 Divine Emperor perfection level and more than 12,000 late-stage Divine Emperor level troops. We can't stop such an army, and neither can City Lord Luophong. The elders felt powerless. A single Divine Emperor perfection level low-level primordial life was equivalent to a Palace Master level entity without weapon secret treasure. It seemed as if over 800 Palace Masters and 12,000 elders were attacking together, with enough collective power to destroy any obstacle in their path. Our avatars may die, But in this battle, victory will ultimately belong to us cultivators. Once Lord Luo Feng finishes imprinting the formation, his formation will be stronger than all the elders combined and will be enough to repel these low-level primordial life armies. We just don't know how many cultivators within the city will perish. Compared to total slaughter, if more than half of the city's inhabitants could survive, the elders would already consider it very fortunate. The elders remained relatively calm. They had done everything they could. Even if they died, it would just be their avatars. As long as they eventually achieved victory, most of their resources in Yulon City could still be preserved. Core area, Luo Feng's cave mansion. Emperor Qing, Emperor Ming, and Di Fu looked up, observing the various Luo Feng figures stationed in defense, along with the massive approaching low-level primordial life army in the distance. Brother Luo Feng first killed a super-limit level entity. Emperor Qing was greatly astounded. Now, he is even managing to suppress for super-limit level entities single-handedly. Super-limit level entities were already the strongest among the low-level primordial life. Luo Feng could fight against 4 of them simultaneously. One could say that at this level. Even if Luo Feng went to the Dark Sacred Realm, despite its higher dangers, greater number of low-level primordial life, and overall strength, the threat to Luo Feng would still be exceedingly low. Brother Luo Feng stands at the pinnacle level even in the Dark Sacred Realm, Emperor Qing whispered softly. Isn't he far stronger than the 2 ancestors? Di Fu pondered. Of course. The ancestors are only a level above me, akin to the elder level of Yulon City. In front of Brother Luo Feng now, they wouldn't be able to withstand even one move, Emperor Qing said with conviction. You know, he has cultivated from an eternal true god to the strongest level in the land of origin within 1,000 eras. I guessed he would still be very dazzling outside the source world. But who could have imagined he would be even stronger than I anticipated? I've only teamed up with him a few times, and now he's the city lord of Yulon City. Emperor Qing exclaimed. Emperor Ming also looked up. Perhaps with such potential, Brother Luo Feng might even break free from the braided cage. Breaking free from the braided cage and becoming a true primordial life, Di Fu's heart surged. If he succeeds, we would have a friend who broke free from the braided cage. Breaking free from the braided cage is not easy, Emperor Qing said. In the Dark Sacred Realm, breaking free from the braided cage is a legend. Brother Luo Feng might face some hardships. They continued chatting. Both Emperor Qing and Di Fu had avatars and did not fear death. Emperor Ming, who had moved from despair to seeing a glimmer of hope, had become much more composed. While the 3 of them were relatively calm, many cultivators in the core area were becoming increasingly anxious. The army is coming. Luo Feng Divine Emperor must hold them off. Everything depends on City Lord Luo Feng now. Those living in the core area, many were mid-stage Divine Emperor enlightened ones. Several were even at stronger levels, mostly possessing true bodies. They had too many aspirations and pursuits. Having walked the path of cultivation to this point, they would naturally not resign themselves to death. The entire army is attacking. City Lord Luo Feng won't be able to hold them off. Some cultivators who saw the situation clearly sighed, watching death approach. The army was getting close, and each low-level primordial life was maddened with excitement, seeming to envision destroying the Elder Cave mansions and crushing Yulon City's last line of defense, indulging in rampant slaughter. Ha ha, it's almost here. We indeed have the potential to slaughter cultivators and then escape. The 4 super-limit entities battling Luo Feng were also becoming more excited. Though they were on the losing side, the situation was about to change soon. In a moment, Luo Feng would need to go all out to repel the low-level primordial life army, as their destructive power was far greater than the 4 super-limit entities. Suddenly, the sky brightened. The sky over Yulon City became completely illuminated. All low-level primordial lives and cultivators noticed the change, instinctively observing the sky. The originally cloudy weather had vanished, even the faint rain mist within Yulon City had dispersed. The sky brightened immensely. Sky blue, like a vast jade, brightly filled with endless vitality. This is. The ground of Yulon City also turned pitch black at the same time. Endless blackness, like fog or ink, adhered to the ground. At this moment, Blue sky? Black earth. The ends of heaven and earth, where the blue sky and black earth connected. What's happening? The fast-flying low-level primordial life army felt an immense weakness throughout their bodies, their vitality rapidly dissipating. Within just a couple of breaths, they became powerless and fell. Previously, when fending off the Elders' formations, the low-level primordial life army merely needed to join forces to form a protective barrier. But now, without sensing any attack, creatures on the fringes of the army began to fall lifelessly to the ground. On the surface, these low-level primordial life corpses bore no signs of injury. What's happening? See a novelfire.net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. This is a formation, it's a heaven and earth array. The low-level primordial life army within Yulon City consisted of 4 units. They moved collectively to avoid being assailed by the Elders' formations. However, under the mysterious formation engulfing the entire city, their fellow creatures were dying and falling continuously, arousing their fury. Swish! The sky descended with a faint blue mist. The earth also emitted a black mist. The blue and black mist rapidly enveloped all the low-level primordial life armies and the entire city, including all cave mansions and cultivators. The cultivators felt no threat. This black and blue mist? The cultivators within the city gazed at the intertwined black and blue mist, only sensing an ordinary scene. But the low-level primordial life army knew well the terror of this black and blue mist. They had already formed protective barriers around the army's perimeter, but under the mist's cover, the hiss sound quickly eroded and penetrated their defenses. In some weak spots in the defenses, the mist broke through in the blink of an eye and easily invaded the low-level primordial life's bodies, contaminating their life cores. At the slightest touch, the life core would crack. In the city, the 4 low-level primordial life armies had many weak points in their defenses breached, causing numerous low-level primordial lives to fall dead to the ground. Hold fast. Hold fast, don't allow any weak points in the defenses. The low-level primordial life armies were exerting all their strength, disregarding the energy drain, creating layer upon layer of defensive barriers frantically protecting all areas. Despite tightly sealed defenses, some weaker low-level primordial lives would still silently perish. There are causality curse-killing attacks. Even through the energy barriers, they can still kill our kind. These low-level primordial lives were quite wise, recognizing the unseen attacks, yet they couldn't fend them off. As some low-level primordial lives died silently, natural weaknesses emerged in the defenses, allowing the external black and blue mist to seep in and erode vitality. What do we do? What do we do? The 4 armies were fighting desperately but lacked skill in formations. Under Luophong's internal and external array attacks, the black and blue mist continued to break through some nodes, causing casualties. Every action of a cultivator in the 9 Rivers Sacred Realm is suppressed by the heavens and earth. But once the formation is inscribed in Yulon City, cultivators not only face no suppression but are bolstered by Yulon City's energy. As the city lord, I mobilized the energy most prolifically. Luophong felt utterly relieved. Various life and death Dao killing techniques could silently claim the lives of those low-level primordial lives. The 4 super-limit level entities battling Luophong felt chills down their spines. Luophong has successfully arranged the formation. It's stronger than all the elders combined. Such a formation can only be arranged by someone who has mastered 2 half-primordial level paths. The existence of cultivation in the fusion Dao was exceedingly rare. Those who reached high levels were even more scarce. Fusion Dao cultivators reaching the late stage of Divine Emperor were nearly impossible to find throughout the Dark Sacred Realm. Hence, all cultivators and low-level primordial lives alike would concur. Beyond the half-primordial enlightened were typically those who mastered 2 half-primordial paths. How could such a horrifying formation be set up so quickly? It happened so fast. Much faster than anticipated. The 4 super-limit entities felt hopeless. Even Luophong's seemingly simple first-layer formation rivals the formidable arrays crafted by Yuan Xiong Palace Master and his peers. King, what should we do? A causal-type invisible attack, continually killing our kind. King, the black and blue mist is eroding everything, our energy drains constantly, yet we gain no replenishments. If this continues, we'll only grow weaker. The four armies panicked, realizing their impending doom. The cultivator camp, leveraging Yulon City, had continuous energy supplies. Meanwhile, under Luo Feng's array, the low-level primordial lives couldn't absorb energy at all. We lost. The four super-limit entities conceded at this moment, aware that a defeat awaited. Cooperating with nearly 200 elders and Luo Feng, if they delayed further, even escaping might be impossible. All four armies, flee for your lives separately. Escaping the Yulon City boundary offers hope for survival. During the escape, you may slaughter cultivators. The more cultivators you kill, even without freedom, you might transform and further advance. A voice echoed within the hearts of all Divine Emperor Perfection level low-level primordial lives in the four armies. This video will end here.